So, it might have been a while, but, I mean, Flash is dying in like 10 days, so I thought I might as well finish off one of my series.
Coincidentally, Sigh is also dying in 10 days.
Now, with free Sega CDs.
Dear God. This is what those years of not doing much came to.
Hey, it's Flash, man. You gotta wait at least 15 years to put an animated intro in there.
Question is this animated in Flash?
I think actually there was somebody on Twitter who did this. I do appreciate the old anime game opening of showing every member of the cast, and then you get the actual game and it's only like 1 or 2 people.
Yeah, but who the fuck was that girl over there?
That was Marzume.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're right. It's weird not seeing her as a cone.
Well, I mean, she already had a design that was just a pink Sailor Moon.
It's been over a decade since I saw any of that Homestar Runner stuff in its original format.
Yeah, it's just sort of like they went up until 2008-ish, and then they're like, oh right, we have jobs now. And then there was just 10 years of doing things that were not this. Pan, capable of sexual reproduction. 1-Up, capable of hair growth.
Yowza.
This looks kind of like the Mega Man DOS Fortress. Speaking of that.
Yeah. Honestly, actually, yeah, thinking about it, the hamster wheel kind of gives it away. Alright, the final boss. So we're starting off easy with this. As previewed on Twitter.
It's a bunch of emojis. Oh, it's dead.
Well, that was fast. First phase, I assume.
No, it's dead.
Hey, they've upped the quality in voice recording.
And there we go, level 10. After 15 years of waiting, it's finally here.
Wow, it's everything I imagined it would be.
Full of skulls.
I didn't really imagine a lot. Yeah. And platforms, and pillars, and columns, and a stained window.
So I'm assuming at this point that the creators just bought like a Warhammer set with Necrons in it, and we're like, yep, that's the aesthetic we need.
I mean, it might as well be.
I mean, what? Are you saying that Trazen is going to come up midway and just steal one of the characters?
I mean, that's what most preservation efforts are, so probably. Either that, or we're gonna end up getting, like, a barrier weapon after we win. That's a Mega Man 4 joke.
Well, you did promise that there's going to be a new weapon in this video, so I'm expecting that.
Well, there will be, but it'll, you'll know it when you see it.
Oh my god, is this 2 channels for this music?
Yeah, it was made by, Yuzi Inu, which could be anybody, honestly.
Even Yuzi Inu.
I do kind of appreciate just how this captures the dramatic last levels of, like, half the library of the Sega CD.
Yeah.
Like, there was something about, like, the sort of, like, evil cathedrals that were really popular back in the late 90s.
And a higher beats per minute version of your main thing?
Yeah. You know, actually, now that I think about it, which game was the first one that actually did that?
Don't look at me, I'm not a historian.
It's an interesting question to think about. But our new mechanics include those fuel platforms from Donkey Kong Country. Except these ones activate when you step on them and keep going.
Nice.
So time yourself properly, or you won't actually be able to make these jumps. They're fairly tight at points. Still not really really sure how you get a fat skeleton, but...
I also don't understand how a skeleton can spit something out without a lower jaw.
Mysteries of science for the ages.
This entire place is an enigma.
Sigma class enigma.
What a maverick.
I do appreciate that we had this whole platforming set up, and the best thing to do is just kind of sit there for a little bit. Very true to old video games, where just kind of standing around was your best bet.
What, are we gonna get Simon in here to talk about flow?
Simon's too busy with dessert, apparently, to be in this video.
To be fair, that's a very in-character reason to be busy.
Yeah.
I mean, especially considering that we're playing a Stinkoman game.
But we're playing the last level of the Stinkoman game. He had to see this through, but he just didn't choose to do it. He chose dessert.
Look, it's okay. He understood that it was releasing literally like 3 days ago, and he had to make the decision. There's something, though, that really kind of gets me about some of these designs, and I feel like I've seen them before, but I don't know which game I saw them from. Like, the tops of these pillars. I feel like I saw them in, like, an R-Type game or something, but I don't know where.
They just look like modified, Roman columns.
Possibly. I don't know, it's just more like the, three... Like the layering of 3 separate curves. I feel like I've seen that before, but now I can't remember where.
My columns have foes.
I do appreciate that they just have the evil shadow show up, and if you just keep walking, he'll not be able to do anything before you start the next level. Speaking of the next levels...
Oh boy, these things are back.
Yeah. I mean, it is the final level. You might as well make use of all those extra graphics you put in.
That's game design for these eras, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's Flash.
Gotta test you what you know. Also, rip Flash.
And now we're back in level 1.
God damn it.
We get to do the whole game again.
But backwards.
Oh, this was level 1 stuff. I saw those videos when you published them, but I don't remember anything from them.
This tile set is the level 1 area, but some of these sprites are from level 2.
Yeah, level 2, level 3.
Yep.
Used in sections that they never were part of.
Speaking of, how messed up would it be if this level in its entirety would be the entire game backwards? Like levels 9 through 1.
Honestly, pretty messed up, because then we have to conclude the glitch level in there. And then I think the game would just start falling apart.
But this time it's right side up.
This time the platforms work properly, thus completely confusing you.
And probably making it impossible.
You know, actually, now that I think about it, I feel like there was a game that did that once, but now I can't remember that either.
Well,
that did like a glitch level and then redid it later on, but this time like everything worked properly and used that to like kill you.
Yeah, that...
I want to say it was like a 2000s era game, but now that I'm saying it, I'm not actually sure if it was that or if I just saw it then.
well, if it was from the 2000s, it might have been really hard to remember, because nobody remembers the 2000s.
That doesn't sound exactly like what happened in the forest areas of Devil May Cry 4, but there was something like that?
Yeah, I just remember that kind of idea, but then whenever I do a search for it, it doesn't really come up.
And then there was Mega Man Dongs, which...
Yeah, that kind of had sort of the same idea with some of the glitch level, but it didn't... I don't think it worked exactly the same.
Yeah, the glitch level was more of, like, gravity flipping, wasn't it?
Yeah, gravity flipping and screen warps. Meanwhile, this one just lets you go through level 4 without having to deal with a giant stone fist. They can't hit anything in front of you.
You don't have to escort one of them.
Yeah. Make sure that he's not...
Oh no, the game is trying to give me the stone fist back.
The old stone fist. How could you do it to me?
My hand's too big. Now we're back in Cloud 9.
Yep.
Was it ever explained why there's electrical outlets in the cloud area?
Static electricity.
That's a weak explanation.
To be fair, it's more than what you would get out of, like, old Japanese games.
Okay.
I mean, at least they're grounded.
Now we're back in the
Got
ice
the plug
world.
for it.
Not in the sky.
Shush you.
I do kind of appreciate just how, like, wide and long some of these areas are. We have this nice little ice block that we probably could have used to skip over all of these spikes and other obstacles. Or not.
No. It frees to square. Making sure to make all the callbacks.
And we have this one very tiny section of broken code. Would make sure we're on brand. Not just for Stinkoman, but also for Flash itself.
Hopefully it doesn't crash right here. Oop.
Honestly, if it crashed, would you be able to tell?
How stable is the actual game?
It works fine.
Okay.
This is probably more mechanically complex than every other level in the game, which makes sense. It's the last level.
Yeah.
I think it's more surprising just that this actually, like, came out.
I completely forgot about this, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun as a competent, like, Mega Man sort of style platformer. Alright, the thing from level 7. I cannot believe that they made Coach C the villain.
What?
Oh no, he's cool now!
I saw the head shape and I thought it was Strong Sad. But now I see the hand, and that's obviously Code C. It might be because... Oh, there's his hat. I was missing that.
Oh right, Coach C was as a blade man. He did indeed boast of that, so this makes sense.
His wordplay was very lacerating. Whoa, it's Power Crunch.
Oh boy!
What?
So we are now huge. And we're fighting Sigma.
You also are double jointed.
I think my favorite part about this giant buff form is that your shots are the same, all your attacks are the same, but you can jump twice as high. The part of you that didn't get buff.
I knew it.
Maybe the muscles are filled with helium.
It depends on how tall you are.
So as it turns out, Coach C's actually a really good fighter.
What?
He can block pretty much every single frontal attack, has projectiles, covers half the screen in like 1 second.
Yeah.
Also, apparently he's ambidextrous.
He's actually, like, legitimately, if you weren't able to jump higher, I think he'd actually be just straight up impossible.
Yeah. As it stands, and I see you've, tried twice and...
Kinda. I mean, the thing is, that flying projectile is straight up his best move. Because you're a giant-ass hitbox.
I was referring more to how the man's counter went down to 4.
Yeah, the flying move was what killed me 2 times. That move right there, it simply aims directly at you, and because you're giant, it's actually really hard to dodge.
And of course we have to fight Coach C in the locker room.
Well, I mean, it's not a biohazard, so it works. It's probably better off than the regular one. Oh no.
Oh no, did Coach C just spawn a mouth?
I think he just became the Dragon Lord from Dragon Quest 1.
Oh, of course.
Oh. Mechagodzilla. Not the Trogdor from 2066, the robot clone. With an Akira arm.
Oh my god, you can actually use it?
Yeah, I think actually the giant robot fist is probably the best move this guy has. As depending on where it locks onto you, it can actually cover pretty much all of your options. Like, right about there, if that platform hadn't come back.
No, I'm wondering what the, how the Trogdor board game ended up playing.
It was fine.
Okay.
I mean, as for a board game, it worked perfectly fine.
I'm glad that I started this LP with no context to Homestar Runner. And now that we've come to this point, I have all the context I ever needed. Because I have since watched those videos.
I mean, Trogdor video is that 2003 or 2004?
That was around 2002, I actually want to say.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It was one of the most famous ones on the site. I think the worst part about that was getting killed by a toe. The easiest to dodge attack. And not the, like, giant firewall or the giant fist. No, just giant toe.
Got you with his toenail clippings.
That and his nose gun, which is actually fairly difficult to dodge simply because it comes out really fast. And you keep forgetting about it since it's so small. And otherwise not dangerous if you're not anywhere near his top half.
It's not for you.
I do appreciate, though, that he has all the power crystals that were never referenced in the game and only came out in the Thanksgiving special they put out a couple of years ago.
Sure.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Once stuff comes out, like, you already have to be in the position to dodge it, or it'll probably lock on and get you anyway. But it won't get you enough.
Well.
Really? We must defend our catchphrases, no matter what it takes. Alright, and time for the escape sequence.
Of course.
Be sure to save the animals.
Whatever, they can save themselves. They are unimportant to us.
If it weren't for speed runs at GDQ or whatever, would that be so much of a thing?
No, it wouldn't.
No. I didn't even know that was technically saving them. I thought I just took a wrong turn and just fucked up.
Yeah. Well, I think it's essentially you have to, like, blow up the wall behind them. And I think it's just running in there.
There's just a bunch of glowing animals that are jumping around.
But the way the room triggers work, the door won't open back out until you blow it up, so...
It's nice that he had a replacement Stinkowing just sitting in the garage of the evil castle. He just blows away. Oh, do we have a third phase? No. No, we don't.
For all the goofiness this has with JPEGs, at least it's... what was... At least it looks less silly than actually trying to be serious Project Zero.
Yeah, that's true. This actually reminds me a lot of the ending to, like, Popful Mail. I'm not sure how I feel about marzipan with limbs. Or are those limbs?
At first, I thought she almost looked like Bayonetta from that one arrow. Cool. She has really long limbs.
Either that or it's all just like sleeves and she's actually just like only the torso section.
Oh, yeah.
Oh god, he has a mouth now. Somehow looks much, much worse. So does that mean that Coach Z, the normal one, has a mouth that's just grown over with some kind of, like, white skin horror?
He is the progenitor of wearing a mask.
But the mask was his whole head.
Gross.
Yeah, there we go, Small Blue Studios. So we have a playable, interactive credit sequence. And a secret boss fight with Stickman.
Okay. What video is he from?
And we can fight him the whole time. He works like those enemies that we saw earlier with the red heads, where they just kind of like have physics as they charge you.
Oh.
And momentum. Yep, but this one knows how to jump, so he can actually hit you easily. Though, if you don't do anything after a little while, he'll kind of just give up. I mostly laugh at you. Doing anything immediately triggers the fight again.
Is this supposed to be the Pootsmith? Because he's got a shovel.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like half these enemy names scrolling past in the background are like weird, obscure jokes.
I mean, mostly the big jokes with the obscure enemy names is just based around badly translated old video game manuals. Where you'd have really strange names.
There was Puzzlethwaite.
And Soup
Missile
Dip.
Tooth.
And Rite Aid. Oh, there's Bubs.
Bubs? That's what he was?
Yeah, apparently. It's real weird looking at memories of things I did, like, when I was, like, 10. Just looking at all these memories of things that I did when I was younger, and remembering them for the first time. An ice machine. Ah, there we go, Sir not appearing in this game.
Looks like, actually... Oh dear, worst impulsive.
That's what you get for taking suggestions from Twitter.
Just throw memes at you.
Oh god, it has... Oh, I just realized Z-Saber's name has the misspelling that Z-Saber had from Mega Man X3 in it.
Oh yeah, the RE.
Yeah, I remember as a kid I watched that for a very long time and thought that was actually how it was supposed to be spelled.
What are you, European?
Isn't that like a British spelling or something like that?
No, I was just an idiot kid.
Well, are you gonna click here for the HD version of the opening cinematic?
No, I don't put my cursor on the screen during recording to videos.
Oh.
It is unprofessional. I say as half the text warps and twists.
2086.